Well, a correctional officer placed Amber Canter in a chokehold and threw her to the ground at Baltimore Central Booking back in 2019, leading to a $750,000 settlement with the state.
And Maryland taxpayers footing that bill for tens of thousands of dollars in settlements.
Well, tonight, for the first time, Canter is sharing her story and demands for change with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren.
Society sees only what the state wants them to see. They don't see what goes on actually behind that razor wire.
In Amber Canter's case, they did. You're watching the moment that scarred her for life at the state-run Baltimore Central Booking. An officer wraps his arms around her neck. She passes out. He drags her limp body, throwing her to the ground.
I have a lot of migraines, a lot of nightmares.
Canter suffered bone fractures, internal bleeding, and says she was not given immediate medical care.
Have you seen that video, that horrible, video of what happened to you? I'm just curious, and if
I've watched it a lot. The first part of my healing process, I had to forgive. I try to sit back and put myself in his shoes, like what was going through his mind, or what was going through the correctional supervisor's minds. And the sad reality is the lack of training.
That has to be a pretty hard thing to do, considering what happened to you.
They have more power over you if you're holding hatred than what you do just letting it go.
Canter, who's transgender, says she was also called hateful slurs. It took a civil lawsuit and more than 5 years before Maryland approved a settlement worth $750,000. The state did not admit wrongdoing. For Canter, it's not about the money, but making conditions better for others.
There was a lot of negative reaction from citizens, but they're not understanding that that's the only option that the Department of Corrections is offering to prison lawsuits. I don't feel right with the settlement money because to me that's blood money. That's the devil's money.
The roughly 100 transgender people incarcerated in Maryland's correction system make up just a fraction of the more than 17,000 inmates. But last year, they accounted for 38% of the money Maryland taxpayers paid to settle claims. A report to the General Assembly put it bluntly. Transgender individuals in the prison system are subject to high rates of violence and sexual abuse from both correctional officers and fellow inmates. There have been numerous settlements over the years following incidents of violence, sexual assault, harassment, and unwarranted use of solitary confinement.
I would say that I was treated like an animal, but it was worse than that. People love and respect their animals. I was treated like an alien from the moment that I entered Baltimore City Corrections.
He proceeded to sexually assault me every single day. I have PTSD from this.
Corrections officials promised lawmakers during a budget hearing earlier this year they will improve training and safety measures, including hiring an expert to address concerns of LGBTQ inmates.
These protections have the greatest impact on the safety of the most vulnerable populations in our care, those with disabilities, and our transgender population.
Canter's case set an important precedent, establishing inmates with gender dysphoria as a protected class under the Americans with Disabilities Act, giving them grounds to file suit if they are not accommodated. She credits her lawyers Malcolm Ruff and Billy Murphy.
It wasn't until Malcolm's case that it gained a lot of spotlight and then it made a lot of people look.
Do you ultimately feel like you got justice in your case?
I think the best results came out of this case that was going to happen. It's not done.
Canter spoke to us at New Wave, a center in Northwest Baltimore where she was undergoing treatment for addiction and the trauma she suffered.
It's genuineness here, and you can feel the love.
We truly believe that, the one voice could change the trajectory of someone's life. Amber proved that, by using her voice to speak up for the injustices in the prison system.
And she's not done talking.
Did you think you were going to die that day?
Yes, I did. And when it happened, I was at peace because I felt like I was justified for what I was doing. Not a lot of people have the courage to do some of the things that I've done locked up in order to bring forth change. This is a very long road. This is just the beginning.
In your corner in Baltimore, Mike Helgren, WJZ.